Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into something I think we all struggle with, the philosophy of living in the present. We're looking at a really fascinating daily devotional by Pastor Chang. It's basically a deep dive into mindfulness and that constant, almost universal struggle we all face, trying to find just a little bit of peace in a super chaotic, forward-looking world.
So picture this. It's Friday morning. Are you physically at your desk right now, but your mind is already miles away at the beach? Pastor Chang points out this universally relatable feeling right out of the gate, and honestly, he hits the nail on the head. Imagine you've just clocked in for the final workday of the week, but instead of focusing on those morning emails, your brain has literally already fast-forwarded to the weekend. You're probably thinking about catching that new movie, hitting the basketball court, or just lounging by the ocean. It's entirely natural, right? But it perfectly captures this constant human tendency to physically be in one place while our minds are miles and miles away, living completely in the future.
And that brings up a really stark contrast between a distracted mind, the one dreaming of leisure, and a focused mind. The devotional makes an absolutely crucial point here. Whether you're dealing with complex commercial challenges in a corporate office, untangling highly technical software issues, or doing hands-on manual labor like carpentry, pouring cement, or painting walls, your current task demands your full presence. When we let our minds drift off toward future leisure, we aren't just taking a quick mental break. We're actually effectively abandoning the immediate responsibilities and challenges that require our focused energy right here, right now. To really drive this home, Pastor Xiang introduces this brilliant modern anecdote about the allure and the intense anxiety of the quick wealth trend. In his story, there's this young man experiencing major FOMO. He looks around his workplace and sees colleagues quitting their steady jobs to become day traders in the global financial markets. They seem to be making easy money, essentially retiring early, living the dream. So this young man looks at his own steady daily grind and thinks, I want that future, and I want it right now. So what happens next? Well, the young man goes to his father, fully ready to quit his job on the spot. His father, recognizing that he doesn't exactly have the financial know-how to advise him, recommends he speak to a highly respected, wise elder. The elder listens to the young man's grand ambitions and gives him a very specific, kind of surprising challenge. He says, before you officially quit your job, take a 5-day trial run. Go check into a hotel or find a quiet place, pretend you are totally unemployed, and spend the next 5 days doing absolutely nothing but simulating day trading on the global markets. We're talking stocks, futures, derivatives, the whole shebang. Now this is where the pacing of the young man's life suddenly accelerates into absolute chaos. On day one, he is thrilled. He's tracking early profits and losses, the adrenaline is pumping, it feels just like a game. But by day two, sheer panic sets in. He suddenly realizes the terrifying reality of global market interconnections. When the market closes in Taiwan, boom, he suddenly has to worry about what's opening in Europe, and then what's happening 12 hours later in the United States. It literally never stops. By day 5, the inevitable results hits him like a ton of bricks. Total exhaustion. He is mentally drained, completely defeated, and goes right back to his father to say, you know what? I think I'll stick to my day job. This story brilliantly illustrates the core metaphor of the whole devotional. What we can call the day trading mentality represents a life governed by 24/7 timelines and just endless future anxiety. It starts to resemble gambling, honestly, because your mind is constantly stretched across different time zones, always worrying about what's going to happen 12 hours from now. It drains every single ounce of your present energy. Now contrast that with the present mentality. This is characterized by bounded daily tasks, focused energy, and a steady, predictable routine. The young man realized that by constantly living in the unpredictable future of those global markets, he had zero energy left to actually live in the present day. So the absolutely crucial point here is how we actually combat this modern exhaustion. The devotional grounds its solution in ancient wisdom, specifically this really famous quote from Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Now, the source uses this not as a call for reckless hedonism. It's not saying live for today because tomorrow doesn't matter at all. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a profound philosophical anchor. It's a reminder that dedicating today's finite mental energy to tomorrow's infinite variables is mathematically and spiritually unsustainable. Which brings us to a really fascinating concept highlighted in the text, daily grace. This is the theological idea that grace, strength, and provision are supplied exactly as needed for today's specific challenges. They are not stockpiled in advance for tomorrow. Think of it like a daily smartphone battery charge. The source argues that trying to mentally borrow tomorrow's strength to deal with tomorrow's hypothetical problems, it's impossible. You only have today's supply.
When you drag tomorrow's worries into today, you are essentially short-circuiting the system, and that only leads to profound anxiety and suffering right now. To really reinforce this idea, Pastor Chiang references a second piece of scripture, Lamentations 3:22-23. It says, "Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning." Notice that specific phrase, new every morning. This is basically the ultimate reset button. The devotional emphasizes taking life just one morning at a time. It's a very comforting rhythm when you think about it. Whatever struggles, commercial challenges, or utter exhaustion you face today, the slate is wiped entirely clean tomorrow. You don't need to figure out next week. You just need to open your eyes and handle the morning right in front of you. Okay, so how do we actually apply this practically, especially as we approach our time off? Well, here are the actionable takeaways from the devotional for achieving true rest over the weekend. First off, completely disconnect from workplace anxiety. Literally leave Friday's worries at your desk. Next, focus on building holistic spiritual health. For the Sources audience, this means engaging actively rather than passively. Things like serving in the church community, enjoying music, singing, and fellowship. By shifting your focus away from the anxieties of professional ambition and toward the present realities of community and spiritual well-being, you can attain genuine holistic peace and joy. And that brings us to a final, really provocative question I want to leave you with today. If tomorrow truly has its own worries, if the global markets, those future deadlines, and even your weekend plans will all take care of themselves in due time, what is the one thing you absolutely need to focus on today? Seriously, think about your immediate task. Think about the people standing right in front of you right now. By pulling your mind back from the future and anchoring it firmly in the present, you might just find that peace you've been exhaustedly searching for. Take that thought with you today, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.